Hello, my friend. I'm making a summary series recently. So, even if you didn't watch any of my video before, just by watching this summary series, you will be able to understand what this channel is about. And I hope you can patiently give me some time, let me explain clearly what I'm trying to express here. And then tell me what you think, okay? So in this episode, I'd like to discuss one question. Why should we understand oneness? Well, generally, we have a certain impression to those people who have religious belief or into spirituality or so-called philosopher, like what are they even talking about? It's like, are they detached from life or are they just wasting their time? People generally feel like these people, they are just spending so much time and put so much effort just trying to explain something which everyone knows. And that thing that everyone knows is that we are one. But in fact, this is the biggest lie. Why? I would ask, if we are one is something that everyone knows, then why this world there's still so much suffering? Why this world there's still so many people who have biases, hostility, and anger, hatred? Why we still have racism, still have war? Well, you might say that those evil people, have nothing to do with me. I didn't start the war. And in my life, I understand love and I'm a good person. In real life, that we might say we put ourselves first, or we put our family first, or even we put our friends first. But to those strangers, to those people may have different race, different skin color, from different country, speak different language, are we really sure that we have the same level of empathy, same level of love towards them? That would be very difficult. Because in reality, more or less, we have indifference and biases towards others. Just like how I wear, how I dress. Some people, while saying me like this, they already have biases. Biases towards my age, my gender, or the way I dressed up. So this is just how simple biases can emerge. Deep inside, we all know that judging others or blaming others is easy, but reflect ourselves is difficult. When we see somebody looks perfect, we're just so desperately trying to pick something is wrong about them. We'll feel like, see, nobody is perfect. And when we hear somebody is talking something sounds a little bit different than how we usually speak, and we will feel like, are you going to give me a lecture? I don't want that. I have my free will. I have my right to choose how I do. I don't want to hear you say these things. So, this is why we subconsciously trying to pick the bones from the eggs. Why? Because it makes us feel comfortable. It can reduce our anxiety, let us find a sort of psychological balance. This is why it's so easy that we put our finger towards other and say that, look, you just live in the concept, or you live in, this abstract oneness. And this is why you are not free. But when we reflect ourselves, it becomes so difficult. Because sometimes when we hurt somebody, and sometimes we do something wrong, we know that it's not the right thing to do, but then we will find all sorts of excuses for ourselves. Use relativism, everything is relative. Good and evil is just relative, so it doesn't matter. So this is the inherent weakness of our humanity. This is something that we really need to reflect and overcome. If we don't even reflect and not even aware of this, then probably the rest of our life is gonna just be like this. And trust me, it will not be something that enjoyable. Because without the understanding of oneness, without the realization of oneness, the life will be a lot of suffering, and a lot of time is unnecessary suffering caused by the way how we understand the world. This is also why those people who have the realization of oneness are being seen as the awakened one. And this spiritual journey is a long journey. It's not something you can directly just attain right now. Because this kind of realization generally is not something we inherently have. It's not something you're born with. But if we don't try our best to gain it, then we'll just live in ignorance, and ignorance will lead to suffering. So this is what those people who have religious belief, decent ones, and the spiritual people, philosophers, this is what they're trying to achieve, is to gain this freedom that they already have. But just because we are ignorant, we don't know this oneness, and then we live in suffering. So some of them, they might be positively thinking about everything. Some of the people might be negative, but still, this is the goal. This is the mutual goal, is this freedom. And this goal itself is noble. It's not something you should mock at or ignore, because everything, every bright side of humanity come out from this reflection, no matter it's civilization or morality. So we should give it enough emphasis and respect. And it's so true that we awaken this noble pursuit from different reason and different background. Some people, maybe because they've been through a lot of trauma and they've been through a lot of suffering, and one day they just feel like enough is enough, and that's it. I want to break free from all of this. So maybe this is their, motivation. And for some others, they just inherently, they have this pursuit. They want to know what is it all about. Why are we here? And what is life about? What is consciousness about? And they're seeking for knowledge, for wisdom. So you see different people out of different motivation and reasons seeking for the understanding, the realization of oneness. And also, there are another type of people. They are very rare, but they don't even need to search for it. They already live within this oneness. Those are the ones who can always, no matter facing what kind of circumstances, facing what kind of people, they can equally respect them, love them, have compassion, and also to treat this world always with a gentle heart. And do you really think this kind of people are everywhere all around the world? Well, I guess everyone would wish that, but unfortunately, that's not the fact. The fact is that those kind of people, no matter by which motivation, eventually can have this realization of oneness and live with oneness, is very rare, very, very rare to find. But anyway, there is a very important thing about this journey seeking for the realization of oneness, is that the realization of oneness is not just an information. It's just not an information. Well, nowadays, people have such an obsession about information. They feel like once I gain this information, I notice this information, then I would gain something. But the fact is nothing at all. If you don't even resonate with that, what is contained by that information, if you don't really resonate with it and practice it and live it, then this information is this information. That's just a piece of information. And you are you. It's duality. There's nothing to do with that information and you. And what is realization? Realization is that there is no more differences between your action and your thought. And no more differences between this piece of information or did you heard this information before? Because that's not relevant. It's irrelevant. This is realization. Because you already live within the spirit of this information, what this information really contains. It's not about its words. It's not about the structure of logic. It's nothing about that. This is why I often say that language, thought, logic, philosophy, science, spirituality, all of these things, they are the boat. They are the boat will guide you to the ocean. If you don't even take this boat, it probably will be very difficult to eventually go to that ocean. But ocean is not the boat itself. There are differences between the boat and the ocean. So you see, sometimes you will see some comments in my channel. Some people, they would criticize me that, oh, so all you want to say is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. You can just complete it in 3 minutes to explain it. Why you say it so detailedly? Why? Why don't you just directly give the information? But this is a problem because, in fact, they're just trying to make everything, organize it as simple information. Because we have this tendency, we want to possess the truth. And sometimes when we believe that truth is just information, then that's it. If we just catch it and that's it, it's ours. And we forget that the truth is not about the information itself, it's about the resonance with this information. So, other people, they also comments to criticize. They said that what you said is already exists like thousands of years ago, so you are not even creating anything new. So what's so interesting then? So this is another thing, that through the history, thousands of years of history of humankind, there are people that repeatedly spreading light, repeatedly talking about the same thing, about we are one, again and again. They write books, countless of books. They speak thousands of words, countless of words. Why? Why, if it's just simple information like that, why we, expand it so much? Because this is just how we resonate. Without the expression, without the wave, without the diverse wave of expression of this oneness, how we resonate with it? Just by saying our word love and that's it? Is that enough? It's far from enough, isn't it? So this is another thing I want to say. We shouldn't have such an obsession about information or to persist the information, persist the truth. What's most important is that in this process we resonate. And you see, recently we are often reflecting what is the fundamental differences between human being and AI. I know it sounds ridiculous, but because in a lot of sense, AI can be so much more smarter than human being. You see how fast AI learned to create art, to create content and all of these things. And AI can almost contain, endless information. So if you want to compete with AI about how much knowledge you got, you will always lose. Because every single information exists in human history, AI knows it. As long as you put it into the data, AI will know it. But does AI have the ability to resonate with this information like human being? Does AI can really resonate with the true value and experience what this information contains? No. So please never forget that this is what humanity is about. It's about free will and the ability to resonate with these informations. This is what humanity is about. Otherwise, we will be all robotic and our future will be completely robotic. And I also believe that our obsession about this, grabbing information or persist some kind of starting point of a thought, it's because we have this competitive thinking. It's just so overwhelming. And we feel like before we are like competitive with each other, we compete with each other. And now human being competitive with AI. But this is the essential, this is the reason why we're suffering, because we always compete. So there are endless of anxiety, endless of repression, and we feel like we're always not good enough. There are people better than you, and because of that you feel pressure, you will feel jealous, and this is what competitive thinking brings to us. But what is AI is about? Is AI being, created to compete with human being? Of course not. AI is to help people, is to help people out. The same with people and people. So please stop saying that we all want everyone know. It's just like I wish everyone would wish, because if everyone know we are all one, then this world is already paradise. And there's no suffering in this world anymore. There's no more war, no more biases, no more suffering. But unfortunately, this is not the reality. The reality is that we are the prisoner of our ignorance. And this ignorance is that we don't understand oneness. So this is the reality, and we have to face it. So all I'm saying here is just trying to remind us that oneness is a big topic, and don't be impatient about this topic. Because for most of us, our understanding, our claiming that we understand oneness and our daily life is completely different. Because in our daily life, we still have so many struggles. We still have biases. We still have suffering. And, all of this kind of pressure generates our hostility towards others, and it's going on and on and on, and it creates so much suffering. And all of this kind of like isolation, this kind of loneliness feeling, depression, repression, all of these things is because we don't understand oneness. Just imagine if a person really understands oneness, how could they will ever be jealous towards others? How could there be irresponsible behavior towards their own health, their own body? And how could they deliberately do something to hurt other people? How could? And how could there be no morality? And there's another paradox. If a person really truly understands oneness, how could this person feel impatient to hear another person express the oneness? How could? Because if he really feel it that way, this is like choicelessly, she will want to resonate with this understanding of oneness. This is just how it naturally will be. But if a person just hear this word already feel impatient to even hear it, that means this person just don't understand what is oneness, because he still feel biases, he still feel impatient to even hear this, because he think that's just a piece of information. They feel like, no, I want to push this person away. I don't want to hear what this person is talking about. And it's not out of kindness or compassion. It's a sense of threaten. This person feels threatened. And if you think a person consider another person talking oneness is with this kind of attitude, do you really believe that this person understands oneness? And for those people who truly understand oneness, they could be with such a big heart. They can tolerate these things. They understand diversity and they respect it. And they will treat everyone with care, with love, nicely, without hostility, without anxiety. And do you think really there are a lot of people like this in the world? They're probably the most minus people in this world. This is how rare to really understand oneness. And for people who have this pursuit to understand oneness, we're all on this path to be there. And this is such a noble goal for yourself, for others, and for this whole world. And there are some people, they might say that, I do understand it, I cannot practice it. I cannot practice it in action. But if you truly understand the non-duality between your action and your mind and your thought, then you will know that it's just the natural outcome. Just imagine, if you don't have your thought, you don't have your brain, how would you ever have action? So your action, no matter you call it is from subconscious or conscious, still, they are non-dual. Your thought will lead your action, and your action is from your thought. They are non-duality. So please don't suggest that I understand it in my mind, but I cannot do it in action. That's just because you don't really understand it yet. And it's okay, because it's a long journey. We're all on the path. So to have such a pursuit to understand oneness is a great thing, is a beautiful thing, and is very meaningful for the entire humanity and this world. Otherwise, is inevitably we will just live in isolation. If we cannot see this oneness, among different phenomena, the different waves, we cannot see the same ocean, then we will always see things and people in a perspective of isolation or reductionism. In that way, we will be forever prisoner of our own logic, our own mind, and therefore forever suffering. So I believe that till now that we already should have some kind of resonance about why we need to understand oneness. I hope this makes sense to you, but of course, my friend, you are always welcome to tell you how you think about in the comment section. So in order to explain oneness, I try to use 3 paths. But you know that it's not my intention. If people know me, they know that I would never separate things like, oh, this is 1, 2, 3 different paths. I would never do that. But it's just the reality that nowadays people, they separate themselves in different camps. Like this person, they will believe that I belong to the camp of science. I belong to the camp of philosophy. And I belong to the camp of religion. And, because I'm a religious person, so, I kind of like reject other camp. So we find out that along the increase of population, there are more and more people in different camps. But there are less and less people really, truly, genuinely want to build this bridge. It's like they are more like just claiming their own right of their own camp. And this is my territory, that is yours. So you mind your own business, I mind mine. And this is how isolation become more and more severe. So when we see ourselves as from the scientific camp, no matter what we talk about, the first thing is evidence, data, analyze. So you see most of the channel, when we focus on scientific area, so they will bring out a lot of evidence and history and all of this kind of analyze and eventually give you a result. And of course, just please be sure that I'm not like against the science. That's impossible. I will never do that. But I want to point out that now we are going to 2 extremes. One extreme that is just everything is all about rationality, reductionism. And we almost deny the true value of emotion, of human thoughts, and even the entire humanity, because everything can be judged by the relativism. And so eventually it will lead to nihilism, to be honest. In another hand, some people, they would just care about feeling so much, they just say, oh, live in the present, enjoy life. Because in their eyes, this is the true freedom. And they mock at those people who live with rationality. They believe that they are still living in the prison of those rationality. So eventually they will also lead to consequences without rationality, without morality as well, because all those things are bondage. So these are the 2 extremes that more and more people tend to live in extreme, and less and less people tend to live in a middle way. And the most rarely is for people to live in non-duality. It's probably the most rare people to live in non-duality in this world. So this is why I started from the scientific angle to start to talk about these things, because the entire environment is like this. So we are going to use scientific language, use scientific angle to explain, to understand what this oneness is about, why this oneness is actually real. And then we come to so-called philosophy camp. We use philosophical language to explain what is this one is about. What is this one truth is about? Is it matter? Is it materialism? Or is it mind, consciousness? Idealism? Is it monism? Or is it dualism? Or is it shunyata? Is it emptiness? So for questions like this, we will discuss in detail in a section of our philosophy camp, so-called. And eventually, we will come to the so-called theology camp. We will use the language of theology and spirituality to explain what this oneness is about. So I hope step by step, we can eventually break free from all of these different camps that just prison ourselves, and we can really truly live in non-duality. then the mission of relational non-duality is complete. So my friends, I hope you can walk this long journey with me. Let us truly achieve this transcendence, to understand, to realize, and to live in this oneness, in this non-duality. And also, in this channel, there are so many friends that are kind, knowledgeable, wise, and full of love. So we can discuss together, we can communicate and resonate together. Let us spread relational non-duality into daily life. And your support means a lot to me. Thank you, my friend. I will see you in the next episode. Bye.